Hurricane Irma literally sucked beaches dry. All that water that Hurricane Irma dumped on Florida and the islands leading up to it had to come from somewhere, and videos and photographs documenting where that water came from have gone viral. One video making the rounds was posted from the Bahamas and shows how a beach was completely drained of water as the devastatingly powerful storm sucked the ocean away from the coast. Where did all that water go? Into the core of the storm. As the Washington Post reports, the phenomenon takes place when a strong hurricane creates low pressure, which draws water into the core of the storm. For the next few hours or possibly days, the storm actually changes the shape of the ocean. This video shows what looks like a desolate wasteland when boats are left behind as the storm completely drains the water surrounding a dock in Key Largo. But some people have managed to use this quirk of Mother Nature to their advantage, with the dry Tampa Bay being used as a temporary dog park as residents await Irma's impending arrival. The storm has since gone, but not without leaving behind significant flooding and mass destruction throughout the Bahamas and Florida. And for some residents, the struggle has just begun. Sometimes the worst of times brings out the best in people. Houston businessman turns furniture stores into Hurricane Harvey shelters. As Hurricane Harvey pounded Houston over the weekend, a local businessman selflessly opened up his 2 furniture stores to families in need of refuge. Jim McInvale, also known as Mattress Mac, welcomed hundreds of people into his 2 gallery furniture stores on Sunday night after seeing the devastation left by Harvey. He told NPR, "When the hurricane first hit down here, I thought this was going to be a one-day event. Then I came into work the next day and I saw the devastation of the entire area and decided it would be best if we opened this 100,000 square foot furniture store as a shelter." He also sent his furniture gallery trucks out into the flood to look for any people in need of a lift. Mattress Mac now has about 400 people in his 2 stores, where he's serving them 3 square meals a day. Mac thinks it'll run around $30,000 to $40,000 to keep the stores going through the relief effort. He told CBS, "We can afford that, and what we can't afford is to cause people to lose hope. We gotta give them hope. That's what my parents would have done. We tip our hat to you, Mac, and also send our prayers to the people of Houston." How animals are surviving Hurricane Harvey. As Hurricane Harvey dumped water all over Texas, humans weren't the only ones looking for relief. Animals of all shapes and sizes were caught in the downpour and had to be rescued along with everybody else. The rich animals were the lucky ones, because they were able to get out before the rain hit. Blue-collared friends like Harvey the Hawk wasn't as fortunate. Heavy rains forced Harvey to hail a cab rather than take to the skies. Guess Harvey isn't a big Uber or Lyft fan. Gators have also been trying to escape all the wetness. Many have been seen hanging out in the burbs. And of course, man's best friend and our favorite feline companions were stuck just like everyone else. Oh, how heartbreaking. We're talking about that poor cat stuck in the back, not the old grandmas, although they're okay too. And it wasn't only the big animals looking for a helping hand during Tropical Storm Harvey. Insects were in on the action as well. Stay dry out there, folks. Hurricane Harvey couldn't keep this dog down. As Hurricane Harvey swept through the state, a lost dog in Texas showed it takes more than a raging storm to beat it. Before Hurricane Harvey's landfall Friday night, Sinton resident Salvador Segovia left his grandson's German Shepherd mix Otis in his screened-in back porch. When Segovia went back to check on Otis later, he was gone. Segovia checked his porch the next day and noticed Otis's bag of dog food was missing. Segovia went looking for the dog and was told by a neighbor they saw Otis strolling around with a bag of dog food in his mouth. Fortunately, Segovia was able to track down the dog's whereabouts and bring him home before his grandson returned. A neighbor who saw Otis thought he was a stray and took a snap of him strolling around with the dog food and uploaded it to Facebook, where the image went viral. According to Segovia, Otis is loved by the folks in Sinton, and he's been helpful to Segovia's 5-year-old grandson, who often goes to the hospital for seizures and asthma. Drivers form human chain to rescue man from SUV. As Harvey continues to pound parts of Texas, leaving more than 50,000 people looking for places to sleep, stories have been coming out of some incredible rescues. A viral video of drivers suddenly forming a human chain to rescue an elderly man from rising floodwaters kind of gives you hope for humanity. In the footage, the man is seen trapped in his SUV, with water quickly rising around him on a completely flooded interstate. Good Samaritans quickly jumped to action and instinctively formed a human chain. After a tense few minutes, they reached the vehicle and worked on getting the man out. This story has a good ending. The man was pulled to safety and taken to the hospital, where he was reunited with his son. The U.S. Coast Guard said on Wednesday it had saved more than 940 people from floodwaters around Houston, and that brings the total rescued by all agencies to 4,500. Oh yeah, and 113 pets were saved too. Saved. Hurricane Harvey claimed one less life in Houston after a TV crew helped save a trucker from a watery death. As heavy rain submerged most of the city in floodwater on Sunday, one semi-truck driver found himself trapped inside his vehicle, which was in about 10 feet of water. A KHOU 11 news crew covering the flooding saw the truck and spotted the man stuck inside. They urged the driver to stay put while they called for help. Reporter Brandy Smith flagged down 2 sheriff's deputies who were driving past with a rescue boat and alerted them to the man's plight. Within minutes, the deputies were on a boat and pulling the driver out of his flooded vehicle to safety. Smith and her cameraman kept the video rolling during the rescue and were relieved when the man was finally back on dry land. It was an emotional rescue, especially after deputies recounted a similar incident last year, which ended in tragedy.